I love that picture. That is cute. Cute, cute, cute. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance to pull any new research up and see what's going on. I know Attila was talking to me about some things, and it was like, got some good stuff coming. I mean, there is some good research out there. It's just finding it, you know. Although someone gave me this one, I think it was Shannon. It's 10 simple steps to eating wheat again. It's like humans are a funny race. Because if you can't eat it and it's not good for you, put something on it. Tenderize it. Throw some chemicals on it. Do something. Make it taste good. I mean, man just can't get with the reality that wheat isn't good for you. None of it's good for you. Oats, none of that's good for you. Oh, a good big bowl of oatmeal. But none of that's good for you. You know, sticky, gluey oatmeal. I mean, all of that's just starch. And most of it is acid ash forming. And so we've come to, they got pills, capsules, all kinds of stuff here to help you enjoy wheat again. And it's like, oh my God, we have to learn as humans, we can eliminate things out of our lives if it doesn't fit. You don't wear a shoe that doesn't fit. All right, let's see here. This is Laura. This was kind of small, Laura, the way they took it off, I think. But let me see here. I love watching your YouTube videos. Thank you, sweetheart. I think you're a very enlightened healer. Oh, thanks, sweetie. I am a nutritionist who cannot seem to heal herself. All right, let's take a look at this. You know, I'll say this. You know, if you're having a hard time healing yourself, you want to, number one, take a look at your diet. Right? That's number one. And you want to take a look at your diet where you're doing it in a fun kind of way. You know, it's like going into a new land. Avatar. You know, you're going into a new land. It's like, wow. It's like Pandora and all this up in Disney World. It's so busy you can't even get in there to see it. You wait 3 hours in line. 3 hours just to get in. It's like, no. But it's a door to the magic world, you know. And that's just, you have to look at this. This is an incredible door to the magic world of health, vitality, all the cool things you can imagine. Fruit just changes your demeanor and puts a smile on your face. All the negative acid foods pull you down, pull your energy down. Excuse me. Oh, man. Sorry, I've been doing iris analysis all morning. A lot more work to do audio. It's like a mini appointment with you. But she says in her life she's been having dermatological problems like eczema, psoriasis, and things like this. And now she's having, she had some clear skin for a while, and now she's having granulomas. Of course, no one seems to know the cause. Well, it's easy. I mean, you know, you just go back to the role your skin plays for you, okay? So your skin is the third kidney, the largest eliminative organ. The problem with allopathy right now, they don't really understand the role of the kidneys. Not really. So that's a statement, a bold statement, but it's true. When you realize that you need to see filtration in your urine, you cannot ride with clear urine. That means your septic system isn't working. Your septic system has gotten backed up. It's got agglomerated, just like a backed up sewer system in your house. And you no longer eliminate waste. You know, just water. And that's part of a big problem here. Big problem is kidney filtration, you know. But look at the skin as your largest eliminative organ of that system. That is a lymphatic organ. It's the largest kidney. And so elimination is central. You can even see gases coming out of the skin. So you've got gases and you've got acids. There's basically three layers. You got epidermis, dermis, and subcutaneous. In the subcutaneous levels, when you look at it in iridology, it matches real close to the lymph nodes. So whatever you see on the skin, you know immediately that's internal problem, not an external problem. Now, moles, warts, the fungal family tends to live on people, but people are walking around putrefied and fermented. I mean, the average person stinks and their skin is a mess. And, look at the types of foods man's burning as fuel. They're not clean burning fuels. Your proteins, your animal proteins in particular, but bean protein, grain protein, these things, the body, like glutens and stuff like that, these type of proteins, your body doesn't want them. Does not want them. So we wait until our body's full of mucus and acids and the body gets allergic to things where, oh, look, I can't have gluten in my world. It's like, come on. These are the type of foods that are not for man. They're not for any species. Man started cultivating and growing these, and the problem is that he didn't realize that he's a tribal, an islander. And if we're going to grow anything, it needs to be fruit trees for every reason possible. You can take a look at growing fruit trees over growing vegetables, over growing cattle and hogs and stuff like that. And for every reason, from the greenhouse effects to yield per acre to hassles and nastiness to all kinds of things, your fruit and the amount of work involved in these. The trees are pretty much self-doers. You water them, they feed themselves pretty much, but you can feed them if you want. So we have to look at that and realize the fruit kingdom is our kingdom. But we can have vegetables and stuff like that. But these type of foods, your beans, your grains, your dead animals, and their milks, and dairy products, the cheeses. Man has a fungal fetish with cheese, of course, because it's fermented. And it's just a major issue. So these type of foods create acidosis, mucus in the body, and of course that fills up subcutaneously in the body. So if you can't get a remedy, you're not digging deep enough. Your kidneys are not filtering adequately enough, because remedy is there for everybody with skin problems, and this is a universal problem. But remember, the skin is the third kidney. Ask what your kidneys are for. Just eliminate water and some things? Yeah. One has to get with the fact that your body produces a ton of acidic, metabolitic, or cellular, however you wish to look at all this, waste and byproducts. The little red button. I'll be right back. I think that's a good idea with that. Yeah. Good thing. I better turn this down so I can see. Thank you, sweetheart. Some good cases. Good cases. So remember the skin. Skin is always the lymphatic organ. And the lymphatic system. You guys are the premier group that knows about the lymphatic system. Who cares if it's not in the books yet? We can prove it. We're proving it every day. Now we have A&P professors now aligning with this, because now it makes, when you align with this and understand all of this, everything falls into place. You're no longer chasing rainbows of wondering, why do I have these problems? I can't seem to get it. Detox might not always be fun for some. For me, I love the fruit and the raw foods, but how it makes you feel. Of course, we like our cook. We like this. We like that. Of course, okay. But when you're in trouble, fix it. And then go back and balance yourself out. But fix it. And it's funny, to fix your body, you have to go back to the same diet your body's designed to eat. When you think about it, your body's designed to eat certain foods. When you eat nothing, you don't eat those foods ever, your body's never going to be at the potential it was designed to be. Imagine, you guys are proving to the world that the potential on fruit is unbelievable. There's a lot of movement that man has to do in consciousness to allow himself to get back to a level of that state of health and wellness. But this time when he gets back there, it'll be an incredible level because the spirituality will be in place with it. So it's going to be a while. But you got to start, and I think you guys are a great start to show this world the level we need. I mean, all these bits and pieces have been introduced, like the natural hygiene and all that, but it's not enough. It needed all the things that we put together for it, and of course in time it worked out perfect. This is right the time it needed to be introduced. I always wondered why not earlier, but it was obvious. So Laura, dig in, honey, because you got to dig in. And of course when you see it backed up in the skin, pretty much your lymph system's backed up all through you. So that means malabsorption, that means all kinds of things. And I mean, it really will answer your questions because you don't generally have just one problem. When your lymph system's down, it causes multiple problems. Pain here, this here, that there. Because it's systemic. It's not like you have all these different, but you can have a lot of different weaknesses. Of course, no one seems to know but because my legs, thighs, and parts of my hands look like a petri dish growing and thriving culture, I believe it is an organism. Well, you know what? Your skin can get like alligators. I've seen people with, I thought they had what they call alligator skin. Matter of fact, there was, at Ringling Brothers, they did have a show and they had Alligator Woman. You know, just large scales everywhere. It just looked like an alligator, fish skin. But all of these things, as bad as the skin can look, I want you guys, especially all you young guys and gals that have fought this since you were babies, the proof, and I'm showing you pictures of several of us, even some of you guys have cleaned up some of these ladies that were so bad, and now they're winning beauty contests and things like that. So you can clean up your skin no matter how bad it looks. There's one thing I've never done in my life that I would love to do, that I've never ever worked on. And I saw one case, I gave him my card, but never came. And that's leprosy. Tumors all over. I've never had a case like that. Would love to break into that and show what we can do with that. Let me see. Some people get great results with ACV, but this doesn't seem to help. There's nothing that's curative. You have to realize that, and all of you guys have to realize there's nothing curative with pharmaceuticals. Nothing. Pharmaceuticals do not cure one little thing. Now, you might have a spasm where an antispasmodic can stop the spasms, but it doesn't cure the reason for the spasms. You know, but everything else very suppressive. And the best thing that could have happened is the pharmaceuticals needed to put their side effects on TV and just listening to the side effects, and as soon as the minute they're done reading them, then but ask your doctor, you're probably going to need this. And it's like, oh my God. First they tell you what it is, then they tell you that it could kill you. It's going to have all these side effects to it. But then you really could use it, and then that's it. That's forgotten, and it's on, you know. So you have to realize that when you see an expression on your body, it's coming from within. You have to look no further than the fuel you're burning. Man burns dirty fuel. And if the guys get it out there, when you burn dirty fuel in your car, what happens? Can't do it. You just can't do it. Even with this new ethanol, you know, it doesn't make engines one better. I wish they'd dump that thing with the farmers and, you know, start raising more fruit trees. Forget the corn. You know, it just messes up with the engines and stuff. So it's just that sort of problem. Dirty fuel. Pure carbon. Good stuff. But I have tried an antiviral approach, antifungal, including some probiotics, and a clean diet with great attention to allergic food sensitivities. But you haven't detoxed yourself. Because if you detox yourself at this level, that won't exist, Laura. It won't exist anymore in your world. You'll be done with that. And it could look worse before it gets better. Remember that, because you're on a journey of expectoration now. You're on a journey of elimination instead of suppression. All these drugs suppress, whether they're steroid-based or not. And what you suppress is a little saying of mine. What you suppress today is your nightmare from hell tomorrow. It is summer and I cannot be seen in shorts with less than a swimming suit. This is crushing my spirit, I bet it is. But fix it. Because the only way to fix this permanently and be done with it is clean the subcutaneous tissues. Well, the skin is an eliminative organ. If your thyroid is down and you're cold, your body pulls in, so you can't sweat, So the whole point is get your endocrine glands back up, get your adrenals back up. That turns on the kidneys, the thyroid, that turns on the skin, and everybody start eliminating. Make sure you're getting filtration in your kidneys. Make sure that your urine has a lot of sediment in it. A lot of Santa Claus snow. UPS. So when you're saying great results, again, what you suppress today blows back even more tomorrow, and it can get ulcerative. So these are acids. So a good level detox, getting your kidneys filtering, will clean your skin right up. It's a must do, because if you don't do it now, you have to do it later, and if you don't do it later, then the tumors come. It's just, excuse me, or fibrocystic, or anything like that. What acids do to you? Makes you hard as a rock and stiff and tight and, tumored up. Thank you for reading this. I know your time, that's, getting to reading everything is what I really would love to do more, is helping you guys on YouTube more. But a lot of things are going on. I know we got a lot of sites to help you, and boy, we're busy. And it's fun because we've got new classes coming. I've decided to open up a January class for roundtables only. It's all just strictly roundtables. That's where we'll pick up what we didn't do in level 1. I see the need when we went to level 2, so we're going to make this a level 2 and then make iridology, because the lack is protocols, understanding that and getting that down. Once you do that, then you're a slide in home. Protocols, once you understand the body, understand what you're doing and stuff, which is not difficult, and anybody can do it. Teaching the children how to detox properly is a good idea. This is just saving people's worlds. So exciting stuff. Now, I've been watching you for a very long time, but I never have the courage to contact you. Oh, stop it. Why not? It's just getting back to you is what I feel bad about. My name is Maryam. M-A-R-Y-A-M, Miriam. Oh, like Miriam and King Arthur. I am 39 years young and need your help. Okay, I've been trying to conceive for the last 3.5 years. I am refusing to go see a man or a woman with a white robe. I think I like this woman already. I mean doctors because I lost my faith in them since I lost my father-in-law because his kidneys had failed due to consume of lots of tables, as he was a heart patient, and then one issue after another till he died. Yeah, it's sad when you guys see this now, because you know how to fix these people. But it wasn't meant to be, everything is in its own time, so that soul was meant to go on. But now you guys are learning how to fix everything. Your parents, your kids, yourself, and that's an honorable thing. We all need to be able to fix our own health issues instead of going to little men in little white robes with stethoscopes that don't know how to use them. Which is very sad, I know. I've been researching, reading, watching your videos, and I came to the conclusion that yes, I can heal my body and reverse everything in there that's blocking me from conceiving, and that's why I'm contacting you, because I know that you will guide me to the right path. Well, the first thing that one thinks about in conception is the pituitary gland, no question. That's FSH. a follicle-stimulating hormone, and it's essential that your pituitary, if you're not conceiving, 9 times out of 10 it's your pituitary gland. Look at your height and see that, but most important, pull your eyes and see if you have it in your eye. It's always going to be around the 12 o'clock position. Get an eye chart, But you want to do that. Also, I would take the female reproductive. It's a non-estrogenic formula. It's a formula that strengthens and tones the uteri, the ovaries, that sort of thing. But if you're having ovarian cysts, that's a lymphatic problem. If you're having uterine fibroids, that's a lymphatic problem. But conception, going to be a pituitary 9 times out of 10. So you would work with the pituitary herbal formula. You'd work with the female reproductive formula, but what else would you do? What causes? So you got to remember now, everybody's used to thinking, what glands down or what disease do I have? But let's pull back and let's understand that, all right, having a difficult time to conceive in a woman is generally a pituitary problem, and you'll see other links to that. Irregular menses, too short, too tall, things like that. Growth factors, stuff like that. So you have to work on these, and I suggest that you work on them long enough to where you can conceive good, but to hold to term. It isn't just about conceiving, it's also holding to term. That's why I recommend using the female reproductive formula for a couple months to tone yourself. It's like a tonic. And just work on your endocrine glands, but definitely work on your pituitary gland. Upper circ, brain and nerve, and pituitary herbal formula. And see if you have a parathyroid with that and everything else, because here's the gig. If you're a woman, you have a parathyroid weakness, that's postpartum depression. Nothing's fun about a woman with a parathyroid weakness for her, because her babies take her calcium and then she gets into the depression. And there's all kinds of crap that can come down for a poor lady like that. She can leave her husband, do weird things. It can really mess with her. And so that's why I'm pro-woman here. Got to work on yourselves. Endocrine glands, use the tonic of the female reproductive, that sort of thing. Get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, all of that. The female reproductive, the upper circuit, brain and nerve is on top of going after yourself, going after it, because it's always the lymph system that brings these tissues down. Whether it's genetic or not, it's always the lymph system that brings it down, except for trauma. External injury. This is my symptoms. And lots of weight gain in a very short time. Loss of period for more than a year. Pituitary. You're talking pituitary, honey. Pituitary. Anxiety, adrenals. But your pituitary controls all the rest of the glands. So when your pituitary is down, all the other ones can be down, but this is your adrenals. It just happens that most people have adrenal weakness on top of everything else. So your anxiety is your adrenals, that's your emotional state, your neurological state, the worker boys, the autonomic. Hot flashes, of course, you can talk about thyroid, parathyroid here. This is pituitary for sure. And it's also, you could have these other weaknesses, but the pituitary can suppress these other glands, or you have these other glands and the pituitary. Either way, you got to work on them with herbs and diet. That's how you work on things. They're magic. They're set up for chemistry and electromagnetic energy for that. Desire for sweet things. That's lots of fungus in you. That's high fungus. That's sweet. Fermented foods, cheese, breads, things like that. Sugars, complex sugars. Even I never been like that. Joint pain, of course, that's backing up. That's your acidosis, systemic acidosis. Feel ungrounded, lightheaded. Now this can come from the cerebellum here. Your lymph is backing up, inflammation, swelling, or genetic weaknesses in that. Candle your ears, 3 or 4 candles per ear. Work on the neurolymphatic points, upper circuit, brain and nerves going to go there too. Tips of my finger hurts. Yeah, you want to be real careful with everything you're talking about here, honey, and really get your lymph moving. Get, especially you want to conceive. Your mamas give your babies their lymph systems, and we're having tumors at birth, so your lymph systems are really bad. Work on them for a while before you conceive, and then you're going to give birth to some of the greatest bodies ever for souls, and that's what the future could hold. foggy brain, yeah. White hair, yep, yep. I mean, you're acidic and dehydrating, and so you really got to get everything expectorating, everything turned on. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Work on your kidneys, your adrenals. You got to work on your pituitary, your female reproductive. Moodiness, anger from your. Well, anger can be the liver gallbladder area there. From your saying, I guess it can be a pituitary problem. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Not all of this, but certainly a lot of it is. Oh yeah. And the best way to tell is you lost your period. Generally, it's not an ovarian problem. Generally, it's an FSH problem. It's a pituitary problem. By the way, I smoke cannabis as well because I have insomnia. I thought so. Pituitary for sure. Pituitary for sure. I can just tell you have to see your eyes. When you have the twins, it's pituitary for sure because the pineal and pituitary are side by side in the eye and close to each other in the head. And so all I can say is definitely pituitary. Upper circuit brain interview, got to work on your valves. Remember, we talk a lot about the transverse colon in relationship to sinus and head. And very, very important. We did demonstrate that in iridology class to keep showing you where that is, the transverse bowel, and always we see the pituitary and most of the time the pineal with it. So I would do a pineal glandular. I would do a pineal glandular 1 to 2 capsules 1 to 2 hours before sleep. Because you need to do that. I mean, you don't want to take melatonin. You don't want to take magnesium. These are things you don't want to do. So yeah, that tells me right off. Right off. And I think it helped me, but now it's giving more pain. And the reason it's giving you more pain and dark thoughts is that you're smoking it, probably. If you're not smoking it and just taking the oil, that's one thing. But if you're smoking, that's acidic. And, that's acid right into the blood. It's scary stuff, Just make sure if you're going to smoke it, that everything you do is alkaline behind it. Whatever you eat and everything is alkaline, because if you're smoking, doesn't matter what you smoke. You can be smoking mullein, natural herbs. Doesn't matter what you smoke. The fact that that combustion is an acid experience. So you have that, and now you're going to really engage the calcium buffering system because the body has to leach something to change the blood pH. When you're having acid ash foods, then the blood is affected. And that's when you see the calcium buffering system initiated, the cholesterol buffering system initiated, all the other interleukin. It depends on the type of immune response needed. Histamines, that sort of thing. Please, I need your help, and I am fed up of feeling this way, and I want to be fertile again. I am dying to have a baby. Well, good woman. Do it right, honey. Do it right. Get your endocrine glands in a state of wellness. Give yourself 6 months on a good detox program. Then you're going to carry to term. Your baby's not going to have the lymphatic thing. Get your eye and take a look at what you're going to give your baby. And definitely want to work on the pituitary gland because this is depression. And I'm going to tell you, so many ladies with your problems go ahead and have children. They get into postpartum depressions, and that's not good. Some women have killed their own babies and stuff. So it's just not good in any way. You want to fix yourself. And then what you're telling me, definitely pituitary, parathyroid, thyroid. You're talking about the adrenals are down here. See what your blood pressure is. Anything below 120 on the top is low. I don't know what protocol or what herbs I need as I am planning to do a detox between fruit juices and dry fasting in a few months. You know what? I write them up. I do charge to write them up. I think it's $150 to write up a 15 or 14-week protocol. But or make a quick appointment with Marcy or Attila or one of them, and they'll get your feet on the path. You don't have to have long appointments or anything. These counselors here are designed to get your feet right on the path here. As your guidance desperately, lots of love from England. Miriam. I bet you have a connection to King Arthur. Yeah, it's King Arthur's son is the one who I liked. Hi, Dr. Morse. Bless you and your staff. I have a question about my son joining the Navy. I'm concerned. Oh, no kidding. Line up, both arms. Yeah, no kidding. Teach your son to detail. And here's some of the problems. These are younger kids going into the service, right? the problem is the state of health of a younger lad. Let's say 18, when I was 18, ready for Vietnam, my state of wellness was different than an 18-year-old today going in. Because neurologically, adrenals, neurological weaknesses are all over the place. So what the military and our government doesn't understand, and the medical doctors far don't understand, is the sliding state of health of the human. And they're a big part of that, because everything has been suppression. Don't fix the problem, but don't even try to figure out what the problem is. You can't use someone else's theories to figure out what the problem is. You've got to be an entrepreneur yourself. What do you think you have a consciousness for? See, the answers are not in books. The answers are in consciousness. That's the fallacy. The seeker of God never finds God. The seeker of truth never finds truth. The very seeking eludes him of the very truth that exists in the now, eternally. So if you open up, your answers to the questions will be there. The answers to all of life is in consciousness, not in books that others read or write. You're turning on the same old grind, and that's what's happening. Our educational system just turning what new, some good research, but the problem is a lot of medical doctors don't look at research like we do. We're hounds for research, because the medical doctors make claims and you can't find research to back up their claims. And then all the cancer research they've done, it just seems like that all the universities that try to match them can't match them. So there's a lot of deception in the medical community, and the CDC centers are a big part of that. Lying about vaccinations, and Dr. Tenpenny brought a lot about that out. I'm concerned of all of the vaccination you will probably have. Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. Is there anything you can be done to lighten the blow back on his body? Detox him. He's got a detox, and it just has to do the best he can in the situation that he's in. But the scary things is that I hope the military gets with Thimerosal and yanking it out, because they're sending these lads and getting them hooked up to give them more anxieties. And I don't know if any, people don't understand the war zones much. These kids are doing 3, 4, 5 tours of duty. What? If anybody understands what that is, you can't make a professional life of the military in war. Because you see all the deaths, suicides and stuff. In Vietnam, when you did a second tour, you considered a jock. G.I. Joe, man. Are you crazy? It was that violent. And it was just like, you can't imagine what it does to the psychic of a person to always be in a war zone. And when you sign up for all these tours of duties, I feel sorry for these young people. I really, really do. It's a sad thing. Is there anything to be done to lighten the blow on his body? Okay, so he is very thin and going to boot camp. I don't know how these kids make boot camp nowadays. I really don't. Thank you for your kindness. Jenny, spelled with an I. Concerned mama. I love concerned mamas. Man, get out. I would be concerned too, Mom. I tell you what, I don't like that either. And how do we educate? How do we get to that? And it just takes all of you guys growing and learning, concerned and departing information and knowledge and getting people up to speed on truth and demonstrating yourselves how beautiful it is and stuff like that. It is the only way, because once you understand truth, then concern sets in even more. Exactly. So I don't blame this mother. Good mom here. You guys are good mothers and fathers and stuff. You're concerned about yourselves and kids, and kudos. Good day, Dr. Morse. My almost 10-year-old son has been diagnosed with protein in his urine. We have done tons of urine tests. Sometimes it's below normal levels, sometimes a bit above normal levels. We have done ultrasound, shows no issues. But, in reality, though, ultrasounds and tests are not going to show any breakdown of tissue per se. You're not going to see that per se on a test. Is this his creatinine proteins or other proteins? I'll say this. Just work on your son's diet and get your 10-year-old on a good living food diet. 10 years old could be a little bit of a struggle, but I want to get him on a good fruit diet and vegetables and stuff like that. Make him, maybe he likes guacamole and stuff, and try to get him to understand that meat eating and stuff is acids and creating all of man's problems, because you're going to have to work on his kidneys. But 10-year-old person today is going to could have very serious kidney and adrenals. Your best thing is this the mother? Yeah. The best thing to do, Mom, get a picture of your son's eyes. That's where you're going to see the truth. Get a picture of the iris, and that's where you're going to see the truth. And look at his lymph system, look at his kidneys, look at his adrenal glands, because that's what you're going to use to gauge what's up. Some of your young ones, moms, are going to have some very chronic issues. So, it's better to understand it and face it early on and get them in the right groove of thinking, because when you get up in 20 and 30 years, it's hard. And so many of you are coming to us in teens and 20-year-olds with the skins and all the stuff, and I admire your what you've been doing on yourselves and winning the day, but you've been suffering all your lives, and that's where we're at. Well, all these people that are suffering are still going into like militaries where there are a lot of toxemia, a lot of toxicity in the military. And if you don't have good, clean body, it's going to have more of an impact than ever before. Things are not getting better, they're getting worse that way. And man just hasn't woken up to that yet. I would prefer a natural treatment. We'll get the kidney for him as a 10-year-old. So get the first kit, deworm him and all that kind of stuff. But look at the dosages. One kit can last him a couple of months maybe. So even use the Fab 4 or 5, but you want to kind of use Parasite M. I'd use 2 kidney formulas. I'd use an adrenal and an endocrine gland formula. He's at the age you can take a capsule to clean the bowels up. If you really want to go after your son in a sneaky kind of way, upper circuit, brain, and nerve. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve is excellent for that. And your kids are sure going to excel in school. The problem is getting your kids too smart, too awake. If your kids get more awake than you, they can be tough kids. But, they're just awakening, and these young souls are pretty awake. We're just giving them the tools, and we could have quite an awake world here, quite a great experience to be a human. More love, more brotherhood amongst themselves, just a grander, humbler experience. Man's humility is in the tank. You got to be humble amongst each other. Realize who the divine is and who created everything, and the fact that when you're working with plants and animals and trees and other humans, you're working with God, just in form. He is a very active child and has been vegetarian since birth. Good mama. Good mama. Actually, he has more of a vegan since birth. The past 2 years, we have added eggs. No, you don't have to add eggs. No. Very constipating. No, you don't have to add eggs. No. If you're going to add eggs, make them raw. We had raw eggs growing up. They consider it nutritious. Right? Years ago, I used to give raw eggs in building people up before I had my superfood blends. Because people keep telling us we need to. So frustrated, really need your help. Oh, you know what, Sonia? You're a good mom. Become the warrior woman mom. Who cares what other people say? Know what is true. You have a little primate there. We are 97% the same, genetically the same. So just remember that. There's only 3% difference between a Homo sapien and a primate, particularly your chimpanzees. So, very close. understand that the proper diet, you don't throw meat to a gorilla. You want a situation where you don't want to be around. Try feeding a gorilla meat. The worst thing you could do is feed a gorilla meat. You'll make them, look at that one chimpanzee, the lady fed him wine, filet mignon, and he ripped her friend's face off. You know, that's the sort of thing that these foods make for anger. So really, you want to get back to the realization that we're frugivores, and the highest level of that on the planet. We're the highest level species in consciousness on the planet. That's obvious. Look at what man can create. Primates can create, but not at this level. So as you see the tiers, and there's others, you know, not to freak people out, but there's other species and other planes and other areas that even do far, far, far greater things. And man just needs to allow himself to work and grow and develop these areas of himself. He's stagnant in academics right now. You have to merge with some spirituality and bring balance to the mind. The mind is what's out of control, and a lot of people are losing theirs. You want to put yours over in the corner and let it go work for you, not control you. And so, you know, diet. First of all, when someone had mentioned something about this, that their teacher at school or their nurse at school and this sort of thing, let me tell you, when anybody thinks that raw foods and fruits and vegetables are somehow less nutritious, somehow not food, over cooked food, cooked meats, pastas, mac and cheese, when you have that level, you're facing an extreme ignorant person, Sonia. Realize that. You're facing an extreme unaware individual. Make them aware. And you say that. You say them right to their face. What animal, my dear one, cooks their food before they eat it? If you're suggesting that cooking your food makes it better, then you need to understand what cooking does to the chemistry of food. See, if they've never taken appropriate health classes, talking about energetics and magnetics and chemistry, they've never taken one. They've taken classes that deal in special interest groups, and the American Dietetics Association is about as bought and paid for as you can get. We're a victim of the swamp. So man's awareness and the victim of this is horrible, and what it's done to the kids and the people, and it's just a mess on the planet. You can see why it's vital that we're here, vital that we do what we do. So don't feel like you don't know anything and other people know more. That's not true. And adding eggs to a young baby, that's protein. I would bring them back off of them. 10 years old, is that what you said? 10? You don't want to ever get them started on any of these things. What's healthy about any of that? Look at grains. What's healthy about cereals? Oh, you got to have cereals. Harvey Kellogg, he wasn't such a... Everybody see that movie? Who was it? It was... the guy in Bueller's Day Off, that guy, and Anthony Hopkins played Dr. Kellogg. When I opened up my first health food store, I hired a nurse that worked at the Kellogg Battle Creek Sanitarium. And, you know, they had yogurt enemas, I think, at the time, and all kinds of things going on. But man has always strived to find the health where the modern day, that's why you see these Shangri-La spas and stuff like this and health clinics and stuff, because nowhere can you go to get healthy. You can't go to a hospital and get healthy. That's all treatment-based thinking. Everything is suppressed and suppressed. I agree, they stabilize, but in that stabilization there is suppression. And so you don't want to do that, because after a while it's hard to stabilize. It's you know, you have to fix. It's start fixing things and learning what causes the things. And this world is total chemistry. And to deny that chemistry has anything to do with your suffering, I would walk away from those people and tell them maybe they need to get a life. And a medical doctor says there's nothing about what you eat that has anything to do with your diseases. He or she's right in that statement. But if he said or she said that what you eat has nothing to do with your suffering, it's a bald-faced lie. See the difference? Diseases is their little world. Their little dictionaries and their little world of diseases, they can't even figure them out. We stand on the pillars of truth of chemistry and physics. We can tell you, explain to you the whole process through the body. Come on. So, always, your fruits, your berries, and your melons are your top foods for Homo sapiens. It is brain food, nerve food. It's the only thing we can use to rebuild MS, Lou Gehrig's, and Parkinson's. So you know it's the powerful and energetically the most powerful, nutritively the most powerful. Now, this isn't just coming from me. I've got a lot of friends in the industry. I got a friend that's a 3-doctorate professor in Canada, 3 doctorates. I kind of like what he has to say. And of course, he's pounding how powerful fruits and berries and melons, particularly the berries, are. Grains, what are grains? How nutritious are grains? They're starch, they're complex sugars, they're fattening, they're sticky, gluey to your bowels, they're gluten. What's healthy about a grain? Nothing honey. Enzyme inhibitors, high phytic acid. There's nothing at all healthy about grain. Sprout them. You might as well just eat alfalfa plants than to eat wheat. Wheatgrass, I knew Ann Wigmore personally. And I disagreed with her wheatgrass thinking. You eat your wheatgrass, I'll eat my alfalfa grass juice. And I'll have a unique way to get that alfalfa juice out the roof if you can handle it. The alfalfa, far superior plant compared to friggin' wheat. Just saying, the mineral content is out the roof on alfalfa. So, you know, some of this is just people, the ideas, and then the ideas take hold and people get a little better despite that. Hippocrates doesn't have that good of a record. You guys have a far better record of what's going on with you and how you're getting yourselves well out of condition the Hippocrates only dream of curing. That's because you guys are understanding the truth more. So why would you give your children grains? Eggs. What's eggs? You know, putrefactive, stink, constipating is all get out. What's nutrition about? Like I said, if you're going to give your kid eggs, give them raw eggnog or something, but then you'd have to put it in milk. Well, you could get raw milk, but if you put it in the yow. Come on in. Little red button. Be right back. That is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything fits like that. Yes. I know. I got to find out. Let me know. Okay. We've got a guy that was in the class from Australia, and he's putting together all the birth dates of everybody here. And everybody that works here is coming up with these super galactic numbers that showing they were designed to be here at this time and this moment. All kinds of neat stuff. Cool stuff, huh? Sonia, nothing is more powerful than raw. The problem is when we see raw and we start on raw, we start detoxifying. Your body is going to normally start fixing itself and healing itself. It's going, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to start working and feeling and healing myself. So then you can see symptoms. You're walking back. Retracing, we call it. You can walk back and pick up all the symptoms you ever had before. If your 10-year-old fell off a bicycle and tore his knee up, and he's been eating acidically. Now, he's been eating vegetarian, which is better, but some of these kids that are eating a lot of meat and everything, these tears and stuff, the skin goes over, but they never heal. So when you never heal properly. So when you go back and detox, you could, say your 10-year-old was now 40, and he was detoxing, he could go back and have pain in that knee and not remember why. And it's where he fell off the bicycle when he was 10 years old, or 5 years old. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's a fact. retracing. You're walking backwards. If you ever had pneumonia, plan to have it again. If you have bronchitis, have it again. This time you work through it, because it's just congestion trying to get out of you. And when you suppress it, it's going to try to get out again. And you suppress it, it's going to kind of get out again. And you suppress it. What's the problem with that? It gets deeper and deeper the longer you wait. It gets more and more because you don't change the why. See? So then it's just deeper and deeper. So you can't freak out the symptoms that you have. There's some bizarre ones, all kinds, ups and downs, cold sweats, home sweats, up and down, especially for quads and paraplegics out there. You guys can go through some ups and downs, like stinky breaths and stuff like that. But you know what? All this stuff, that breath comes out, that you really get into that deep tissue putrefaction and stuff. Yeah, your breath could get pretty nasty during a detox. And that's what you want. Matter of fact, you used to detox a person until the breath turns sweet and smelling sweet again, and your tongue looking nice and pink. So, meats, dairy products, grains, beans, when they push these kind of foods on you, these are the negative forces. These are the foods that are bringing man down. These are the foods man's eating. Now, it's funny that when we change those, man gets his health back. When we go to those, he loses his health. Now, something wrong with this picture? Kind of easy to see that. So that's what I do, son. And know that you're the mom with the smarts, and maybe it's them that you probably need to sit down and say, let me educate you. I know how to treat my boy. You ladies, grab your power back. You're the sweethearts of the universe. Without you ladies, we men don't know love. So you are the power there. But get your power back. A lot of ladies have been timid here, the male principal, overbearing, and especially when it's the doctors and stuff. No, don't take it. You know what's good for your boys and girls. You guys are learning, and you can prove it. So, don't take that crap from others. You guys are the ones. Accept your knowledge and accept your beingness. Why are you here? Who brought you here? You know what I mean? These are some big, thick ones. From Celestial Moon. Hello there. I am so blessed to have found you on YouTube. Sometimes I feel like I was led to you by a higher force. You think? You know you were. Of course, we all are. It's the beauty of it. The beauty of it. Boy, this class, man, people were seeing all kinds of things. Out of body, little girl running around. There was a few friends of mine hanging around there. Some little short 18-foot beings. They were pretty big. I felt those. But there was a lot of fun. There was a lot of mystical things happening. Woohoo! Just remember the word planetary darshan, guys, and any of you spiritual people know what a darshan is. We're working on a planetary darshan. All right, so I am 29. Look at this, 29-year-old spiritual woman right here, guys. You guys are all lucky. There's a lot of spiritual ladies out there. Maybe not so much for the ladies, there's not as many spiritual dudes, but there's a lot more than ever before. Years ago, you couldn't find a lot of spiritual guys because there's more spiritual ladies. They're more in tune with love and that sort of thing, inner self, stuff like that. Men are more outward, so they have a harder time, but not so much anymore. Males are being born with, like me, kind of more feminine qualities and stuff, and they're feeling more balanced. And but these are your spiritual ones coming, and the ladies are more balanced. It's pretty cool to see that. Now, this girl is only 5'5" and 108 pounds. So she's real thin. She's 5'5". So right immediately, I'm thinking pituitary with celestial moon here. I'm thinking pituitary right off. She's very thin, so could be an active thyroid, but we also could assume with a pituitary problem, malabsorption. Because look, your transverse bowel you cannot have a pituitary problem without having a transverse colon problem that I've ever seen. So by the time you're having a GI tract problem, malabsorption is just part of the mix. So to fix it, you can understand, this is what this world needs to understand, when you're malabsorbed, you're going to be thin. Fixing it doesn't put on weight immediately. You've got to get the lymph hydrated and filtering and moving in these interstitial spaces in the walls of the small intestines and colon. Well, to do that, you got to go on fruit. There's nothing fattening there. And so you're going to lose muscle that you put on wrong, fat that you have that shouldn't be there. Your body's going to redesign itself. Well, there's a process to that. And I always liken like that. If your car is messed up and you take it into a body shop, it's going to take it's not going to look good when they start sanding on it and putting it up and stuff. Man, neither does a human body, but then it starts to pull itself into some beautiful levels. So, yeah, we go through a little hell, a little retracing to get to Wellville, but man needs to understand that, especially medical doctors. Come on, guys. Time's clicking here. Since I found you, I've increased my fruits, berries, and melons. Good girl. Taken your herbs and tried a few 24-hour dry. Oh, this is a good woman right here. Been vegan for 2 years and I have consumed a high-fruit diet since January 17 when I found you on YouTube. Been fully fruitarian for more than a month now. Holy crap, you're kicking on. Holy moly. This is a good woman here. My kidneys are starting to filter a little bit. Yeah. Celestial Moon, make sure your kidneys are filtering. Keep working, sweetheart. Get those kidneys to filter, and you'll never, ever, I promise you, you will never regret it.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you for that anyway. I always see you, the one that gave me this, she's always come to the classes, and it's always fun. They are stubborn, though, sounds like it. But remember, you're young. You're 29. And I'm telling you guys, 29 and 20 and 30s and teenagers, you guys got beat up. Genetics, oh my God. So I'm the first one to admit it. But I'm also one of the first ones that says we all got to pull together and help all of ourselves, because this world, practitioner-wise, not well versed on understanding all of this, needless to say. I am trying to heal my long list of health problems, but at 29, she's got a long list of health problems. You see what I'm talking about? We can't do that. We have to be smart. We have to be the smart ones. We have to walk with truth. No matter what this company, no matter what the antics are here, there's so much corruption, there's so much paoli, there's so much everything. We can't walk with that. It doesn't matter. You won't have to worry about needing money or anything. You'll be well taken care of on a lot of levels, guys. But what really concerns me is my head area. Yeah. Well, transverse colon again. We're back to transverse colon. Pituitary transverse. So you've got to fix that to get this to break loose. You can candle the ears, 3 or 4 candles per ear. You can use your neurolymphatics, hot and cold, that sort of thing. But truly, if you notice, that's all kind of, your pathways are kind of hooked here together. So you got to break everything loose. And that's why I've always said you notice improvement closer to the kidneys first than further away. The head seems to take the further away, but it is now. 30 years ago, I never saw the head problems, put it that way, that we have now. We're having, it's like things are so bad in the human that the head is just, now the central nervous system is getting beat up really bad here. Now, I have noticed the lymph nodes behind my ears. Oh, no. Okay. All right, so listen up. I have noticed the lymph nodes behind my ears and tonsils area are very big and hard. You want to go on, I would go on lymph node 5, no other lymphatic formula, 2 kidney formulas, and I would do those 2 dropperfuls 3 times a day at least. You want to do your adrenals, your endocrine glands, your stomach and bowel, your GI broom, but put yourself on lymph node 5, no other lymphatic formula, just that one, and at least 2 kidney formulas, and I would do at least bump them to a dropper and a half to 2 dropperfuls 3 to 4 times a day, and get yourself on a little fruit and drive. Keep going, honey. You don't want it. You want to stay at that fruitarian level. You do not want these up here. I can't even tell you what the outcome could be. You don't even want to know. But you want to break these loose. You want to break these loose. So you keep digging in. Put yourself on a grape fast if you have to, or grape and lemons. Keep digging in. Break these lymph nodes loose. And whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. and time and patience, whatever it takes, because this is a no-no to what they can do to you. No, 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 no. I have tried ear candling. Oh, good. I mean, that's not to remove the lymph nodes, not at all. It's just to help retrieve pressure and stuff like that. That's not going to clean your lymph nodes out. No, 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 no. Just relieving pressure. It has to come through skin and kidneys. Skin and kidneys. So that's where you're filtering and sweating. Filtering and sweating. Sweat your butt off and filter. Filter, filter, filter. Do whatever you have to do. More 24 hours, whatever you have to do. I have tried ear candling and it worked at first. They shrunk a little. Yeah, but that's not the doorway. The fact that they shrunk a little, oh yeah. Okay, I'm feeling it. That's good. That's good. That's good. If you've got hard lymph nodes and they don't want to go down, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, you want them to go down. Yes, 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 yes. But now if I do ear candling, it hurts my inner ears. Nah, you don't have to do that. That's not going to clean them anyway. No, you've done enough ear candling. Too much is too much. My cheeks start to swell up with fluid and I get ugly red, itchy rash on my cheeks and neck that oozes water if I scratch it. Well, that isn't water. That's lymph fluid. Acidic lymph fluid, probably. Yeah, I mean, you're really backed up here, sweetheart, and you just got to get your lymph moving. There's no other direction. I mean, you can try to put a little back salve on the lymph nodes. I wouldn't. No, I would get this done the proper way, and then you're done, and you fix the problem, and you're good to go. Yeah, I mean, and neck, it hurts to touch it. Yeah, no. Come down. Ear candling isn't it's just to give some temporary relief. My inner ears have healed since then, but are now itchy. Well, you have fungus all through you. You know, that's itchy fungus. Sometimes I feel pressure. See, that's the idea of feeling pressure in my inner ears. Absolutely. And that's because all your bowels and everything are holding all this up. You just got to keep getting the kidneys to filter and get those bowels worked on. Make sure you're on a stomach and bowel formula, GI broom. Start cleaning and drawing, stringing the bowels. And all of this in time will work itself loose. Sometimes I feel pressure in my inner. I don't know if I should continue with ear candling. No. And give the ear candling a break. Give the ear candling a break. Or did I create some inflammation with ear candling? Yeah, maybe a little bit, but that's just a little irritation. Too much of anything. What else can I do to shrink those huge lymph nodes? Thanks for all that you do. You're amazing. You're amazing too, my dear one. And you want to get those lymph nodes down. So do what I said with that. But a little 10-day lemon juice fast wouldn't hurt. But keep working with that. Keep working with that. Keep working with that and working with the kidneys. And you'll get it. You'll get it. Especially if you saw them going up and down them, you'll get it. And that's what's important. Don't freak out. Just keep focused. And then you can look back where they're going and go, I did it. I don't have holes in my head. I don't have tumors in my brain. I can't no longer get out because they removed the lymph nodes in line. You don't want that. I've had that. You don't want that. And the death isn't good for these people. And you can't help them anymore because if you can't get the lymph moving, there's nothing you can do. And once you guys have been to class, have seen some of the pictures we've got. Horror. There's some horrible stuff out there, guys. And you generally find it under the acid sky. Oh, I love the heart here. Oh, wait a minute. This is suffering. High fevers in children. Oh, this is a good one. You guys have so many great questions. We try to cover all these in class, of course, but you can't know it. Not everybody can come to class. But, there's so much to talk to you about. All right, let's do this suffering because I can't stand suffering. This is from KS. Excuse me. Come on out, mucus. Come on, baby. Deep stuff. Get out there. I just watched your latest video of the spiritual teaching. Seemed like a seminar. Sorry. How and what does one get information about when, where you will be doing an event? Wish I knew. I need to see you. I don't know why. You will know why. But I don't know what else to do, where to go. I am so lost. I am suffering. Could I be an evil soul? Oh, stop it. You're what you want to be. Remember, there's not a part of you, that part of you that you think is unconscious That's what you need to be conscious. You're not unconscious. That's the awareness you have. But that awareness is sometimes trapped in thought, in the mind. And it isn't fully awake. Thought chasing. And so sometimes we're used to operating or being conscious from the mind, and that very limited way of being awake. So, not an evil soul. There's positive and negative, and at any time I can align myself to the negative side and be mean and all that, or I can align myself to the positive side and be love and all that. But that's still duality. You come from consciousness, which is non-dualistic. You, awareness, that which gives you your awareness and intelligence and all that, that's not mind. You have to separate the difference between thought and the storage of thought and thought impressions and actual awareness. They're two different things. So it's like feelings, that's even another different thing. Your feelings are another level of God. That's not thought. Thought and feelings are two different separate things, just like your physical body is not thought. It's a product of thought. That's why I am made to suffer so much. No. That's why we have karma. And it's just learning that we've created things in our past and in our distant past where we can't remember. And so this is why you're experiencing now. Everything you're experiencing is karma. Jesus said it right aptly. You reap what you sow. Buddha just said it real quick. Karma, bro. And all it is that you're working through those things you created. And that's why I'm saying if you want to be free from all of this and the suffering, don't create new karma. Live in the present moment. Enjoy the now. Give. Be the giver. And it'll come. And the more you can give, the more you get. Just be that open vessel of divine love. And I'm going to tell you, the divine will use you. Take a chill pill. Relax. Let the divine do it, so to speak. As you go along more and more, you'll realize who the divine is. If I am, then what am I supposed to do? I don't want to be here anymore. I am angry at my being here in this state. Well, my God, there is a lot of this out there. I could do a whole video on this. Maybe I should hold this and do a video on this. There's a lot of that up now. A lot of you are high spiritual beings. You got to realize that coming to this place, there's nothing happy about it. The bodies are genetically ravished. The bodies are acidic and full of tumors and mucus at birth. I mean, the corruption is like never before. No one seems to love each other here as much as they did. A lot of ups and downs here right now. A lot of changes and cleaning and detoxing going on right now. So that is true. A lot of you are not happy beings. You feel depersonalized and everything else. Now, I'll say this to you. Living in the state of consciousness is a depersonalized state. There is no self to it, and yet it is immensely the self. I can't describe that. Only when you get into the deep levels of aloneness do you understand what I just said. But you have to stop and realize that you are the core experiencer in every experience you have, and that part of you that is awake and experiencing these things, that's watching the experiments and watching what you're doing and watching how you're doing things, that's yourself you want to get to. That's been dubbed the higher self, but in reality the higher self is you. If you separate yourself, then you're always separating yourself. You're never whole. You say, well, another part of myself is more awake. Oh, really? Then be that higher self and be awake. And the only way to do that is to stop thinking, stop desiring. And there's been plenty of high spiritual beings telling you that through these generations and eons of time here. By the way, just for all of there are walk-ins here also to learn and grow as well. This planet's a great time here to learn and grow. And the information that we're bringing out to this planet is of a vital need and fun stuff, you know. So turn it around. If you don't like this world and like your experience, only you, KS, can turn it around. Only you. I'm giving you the tools to make your physical body healthy. It might take you a little bit, but so what? It's a tool. What's 1 year in your world to the life on the planet here? And you turn your whole world around. So spiritually, you're here obviously to grow and to become more awake. You know, if you think here to chase knowledge, then you'll have a lot of time here. But if you're here to awaken, then your time could be short. So make this world your happiness, because you carry that awareness through all these worlds. Keep removing your attention so much away from the physical and the emotional and the mental and the mind and desire. Free yourself up. Play. Have some fun. Let go. Don't hold on to anything. Nothing's worth holding on to. Even your loved ones. If you hold on to your loved ones, they will go away. You know, they say, if you remember that old saying about if you love a bird, free a bird. We like to cage things, tame things, put chains and collars on things. But if you're suffering, unsuffer. I'll give you the tools to unsuffer physically, and I'm giving the tools to unsuffer spiritually. But don't think there's some place you can go run and hide, because there is none. You hold the golden key to your own resurrection. No one else. All these beautiful saints and saviors do is tell you that. All right. There are so many self-proclaimed gurus and teachers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And that was my point. And we talked a little bit that at this class. This is a very spiritual class. Very. And I thank you for that, allowing me to be able to bring that out to you. But at this particular time, the Guru Chela syndrome, the Master Guru, the Master Chela syndrome. In Paul Twitchell's time, that was the focus, to use a enlightened one to be your vortex, to be your vehicle to reach the state of God. That's when all the spiritual teachings were more from the physical worlds, the worlds of matter, energy, space, and time, not so much the physical world, the creation. Even though Twitchell brought out a lot in the higher worlds, it took Darwin, the next master, to pull all of that work that Twitchell did into the now. Well, that's difficult for people to understand that. Even Ram Dass brought in Be Here Now. Remember that book? If you caught that, you caught that. J. Krishnamurti was teaching Be Here Now for how long? So when you understand the difference between awareness or consciousness, which is a state of just being, as opposed to a state of thought where there's activity between two poles of duality. You have to look at the difference between the two. To be in the poles of duality requires a sheath or an embodiment. You can't be here in this world or any of the worlds of matter, but you have to have a body that is. See, to be able to step yourself down. So there is a lot of false prophets and stuff, but these are just people that understand life at different levels. They're not so much false. They're just understanding at the level that they've grown to as well. So, depends where you're at, the level you're seeking. What level do you want to know? There's all levels out there. It's right now a smorgasbord of masters and gurus and teachers. I will say this to you guys. Never shall a master, a saint, a guru step in between you and yourself, God. You never need a vortex like that. You are that. You are the living truth. Jesus said it more than anyone else. You are that. You don't need to go through anyone else. You are the living truth. Go through that doorway. The doorway is you. But it's not through thought. It's not through seeking. It's not through books. You are the living truth. How do you connect to yourself? You have to go beyond thought, go beyond emotions, go beyond the things of creation to find the things of consciousness. And if you can get those, you've won. You've won. And it's just a matter of time to where you develop more and more the ability to be more and more conscious. So don't seek for help outside of yourself, other than some of us guys that like to put our arms around you and give you a little bump. These beings, there's all these Eckmasters are around now, it seems like. The Ascended Masters, Saint Germain, and Jesus, all these beautiful beings, Michael, they're all around. So depending on the level you are, that's who you get. And just open yourself up to that. You know, if you're the only one that can stop negative energy into you. Remember, your consciousness, you're not from negative worlds or positive worlds. You're only playing in those worlds. So if you choose to align yourself with the negative side, you align yourself with the negative side. If you choose to align yourself with the positive side, you align yourself with the positive side. Both sides are in creation. Yes, I prefer a positive experience over a negative experience, no question. But those are labels we give them. Some of the most negative experiences are your most positive. So if you really want to know truth, experiences are a dime a dozen. Get out of creation. To get out of creation, you simply must break the chain of thought. Quit thinking. Be here now. Live in the present moment. Become the observer. All those things are saying the same thing. They all have followers, people who swear their divinity, miracle stories, because there are. But remember, there's levels. And there's miracles at all levels, my dear one. There's miracles at all levels. To a miracle to one person is nothing to another. So, you know, some people having see the 1,000-petal lotus is the most mnemonic thing ever seen, which is true to a certain extent. But then if you go up into the Satnam regions and stuff, anything can be created. Anything, literally. So, where do you want your experiences? You know, it's a smorgasbord. You're the one that chooses. And if you seek someone else to drive your car, you'll never get there or here. So you got to drive your own car. So look to those things. Look to gurus or teachers that set you free, not bind you more. Okay? That's the whole ticket, is your freedom as a traveler throughout the galaxies of the universe. Separate the difference between creation and non-creation, and you'll get it. If you understand those two differences, you've got it. And to get deeper and deeper into the worlds of consciousness is just surrendering more, becoming more. Not thinking more, not planning more, not desiring more. That's creation. That's your activity. Merging more with the all is your little secret of consciousness. And yet, everywhere I go, I try to find the truth answer to what I am supposed to do. I am filled with doubts. I want to have faith, but I can't. You know what? Don't have faith. Quit looking at duality. Because as long as you look at duality, there'll always be half-truths. See what I'm saying? Because creation is 50-50. Kinda. I say it's more base, more feminine, more oval than round. Just my opinion. 50-50, yin and yang would not make for a livable world. You would not be able to live and have an expression at this level that we're expressing ourselves in a 50-50 world. This is a base dominant world, a feminine dominant world, and essential. There's too much aggressiveness and corrosiveness in the male acid principles. I see them all as very savvy businessmen who are no doubt selling good knowledge, but selling nevertheless. If I am divine, then why did I subject myself to this misery? And if there is a God, then why does it hate me? It can't hate itself. You're thinking and experiencing in creation, bro. You got to break that chain, because you're simply got an expression, and you're just looking at it negatively. You know, maybe you don't feel good. Maybe you've just been trained of negative thoughts. Stop all of that. Become the observer. Start observing without thought. Then you can interject consciousness into that, and that is awareness. There is always awareness. Awareness isn't stupid. Awareness houses all stuff in it. Doesn't hate you. You hate yourself. And it's just like, no, that's all just bull crap. You turn all that around. You remember, you're a victim. You are a sum total right now of all your past journeys. So somewhere in your past journeys, you've had some ups and downs. Okay, get rid of them. Work in the present moment. Control the present moment. You want to be happy? Do the things that make you happy. But you got to look to yourself as the one. You don't look to gurus or saints or saviors. They're great spiritual beings, and I'll be the first one to tell you, use Fubi Quants, Shamus Debris, Katadaki, all of them. Brevazar, I mean, all of them. You use them to you. But the trueness of a master, of a true master, is the one that can set you free, not the one that uses them to bind you more. They don't even know they're doing that, guys. All these gurus and things are just trying to be the God people that they are. And its own creation. Isn't it? No. Creation is dualistic, and you got to remember that. Creation has the good and the bad equally, or hopefully not so equally as I've just discussed, but as beautiful as you can imagine, KS, as beautiful as you can imagine, you can also imagine the most hideous. You cannot imagine something that doesn't exist. Remember that. Your mind just can't imagine something that doesn't exist. That's not how creation is. That's the scary part of this. Oh, there are some worlds maybe you don't remember you've been to. There are some extremely scary parts of creation, as there's some extremely beautiful and enlightened parts. Both are just your play tools. You're neither one. Remember that. You come out of the worlds of pure consciousness, unformed, the formless worlds. Who is to decide? Why is suicide such a taboo? It's not. You can do it. The problem with it, it's almost an automatic repeat back. See, the whole idea is you to get your shit together. And if you can't, then it's an automatic return home. Back here. Not home, back here. You don't get to kill yourself and then suddenly I'm in heaven. I did it good. No. Because it's developing itself to be in control. It's developing itself. You're just one little piece of itself. You're one individualized expression, as I and everyone that's listening to this. Each one of us are responsible for strengthening ourselves and expanding ourselves. Because as we do, it does. It isn't expanding itself separate. You are its vehicle. And the only way it can experience creation is through you. Its embodiments. It can't put itself from consciousness into creation. The way it does is through you. That's when you get that, you realize really who you are. And take pride in that. Give due respect who you really are. It has to have some way to experience itself. How do you think God's experience is just sitting there watching? Absolutely. That's you in consciousness. But it also has to develop form to have activity and differences so we can hug and kiss each other. Absolutely. The beauty of individuality, but the totality of consciousness. Because individuality has positive and negative sides to it. And you have to get with that. It doesn't mean you're bad or you're good. If you label yourself, that's you're self-labeling yourself. You could have a hitchhiker, get him out. The more you can pull into the golden light, the hue, the sound current, the prana, the life force, the more it'll surround you and protect you, but the stronger you become. You don't like what's going on? Change it. You don't like an entity around you? Get rid of it. Get your power back, guys. Or you'll be a leaf in the wind. Oh me, I hate myself, I don't hate myself, this is this and this and this. Grab the power back. Next life or in between, if you take your own life, absolutely, and you don't want that. You want to develop to the greatest heights you can now. You get up in some of these heights, it's so beautiful you don't even grow for eons of time because you're too busy enjoying the beauty. I can see that. But if this is life is hell itself, then how much worse does it get? Oh no. Oh, you shouldn't have wrote that. Don't ask that question. No, you don't want to ask that question. No, put that out of your mind. Yeah, no, don't ask that question, man. Nope. You don't want to know how bad it can get. But if this is, sorry, I guess I am hoping you can help me understand what the hell is this all about. It's easy. It doesn't make sense. I am hurting, angry, jealous of those who have a normal life. Then get yourself a normal life, man. We're here to help you. You know? Look at the help that has a handout. You have to discern between the help you need and the help you don't need. People that can help you, people that you can't. If someone has something, everybody might have something for you. Just take what you need and move on. You know, you don't have to sit and have supper. Get this God creation thing against you out of your head, man. That's only you playing with yourself. Please tell me the truth. Am I evil soul? Can you tell from this far away? You're not an evil soul. You're trapped in your mind, man. But you've had some experiences you need to let clean out, okay? That's what I'm getting. You've had some experiences. Let it clean out. That's why you pull yourself in the now and you quit desiring and you quit thinking. Let all these past thoughts and desires that's in the mix work themselves through. No matter what you see or what you experience, keep yourself in the point of observation and in the now. That's where you truly will love yourself from the level that you need to. When you're lost in creation, you're banging up against two separate polar opposite forces. And you just have to realize that. The creation mandatory comes with duality. The evil is as evil and as beautiful as is beautiful. But if you pull back, you'll have due respect for God because it has to have it. Don't think it loves its most negative either. But it comes with the package. Can't have one without the other. That's the ironic part of that, but it makes total sense when you understand the difference between the formless worlds and the formed worlds. Worlds where there's matter, energy, space, and time. There's differences, there's separation, and where there's the one again. You get that difference. And you woke up. At least a major wake up compared to those that are trying to wake up 50 to 100 years ago. Give yourself due. There's always growth in everything, including spirituality. Don't be too hard on the gurus and people like that. Everybody's trying to develop and awaken. It's just that if you want to work with the spiritual beings, I always recommend finding the highest ones you can. Yeah, because they'll take you higher. They're just, I don't know. It is what it is, you know. When you find a more experienced teacher, it does make a difference. But Still, everyone has something for someone, so, always have your eyes open. If you're always thinking and desiring, or woe me, you don't go anywhere. No, pull your power back, KS, and always me. Love you guys. Time to go take a lunch break. I will see you maybe on the flip-flop this afternoon. But this is Friday. But I love you guys. You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you guys. And our classes are getting more spiritual, more powerful. The energy around that was swimming. It was swimming. Matter of fact, there was a couple of burnouts, wasn't there? The whole class just went, oh, whoa. Too much energy. I love it. Planetary Darshan coming. Ooh, could be a good one. Beyond the things of creation to find the things of consciousness. And if you can get those, you've won. You've won. And it's just a matter of time to where you develop more and more the ability to be more and more conscious. So don't seek for help outside of yourself, other than some of us guys that like to put our arms around you and give you a little bump. These beings, there's all these Eck-masters are around now, it seems like, the Ascended Master, Saint Germain, and all these beautiful beings, Michael, they're all around. So depending on the level you are, that's who you get. And just open yourself up to that. If you're the only one that can stop negative energy into you. Remember, your consciousness, you're not from negative worlds or positive worlds. You're only playing in those worlds. So if you choose to align yourself with the negative side, you align yourself with the negative side. If you chose to align yourself with the positive side, you align yourself with the positive side. Both sides are in creation. Yes, I prefer a positive experience over a negative experience, no question. But those are labels we give them. Some of the most negative experiences are your most positive. So if you really want to know truth, experiences are a dime a dozen. Get out of creation. To get out of creation, you simply must break the chain of thought. Quit thinking. Be here now. Live in the present moment. Become the observer. All those things are saying the same thing. They all have followers, people who swear their divinity, miracle stories, because there are. But remember, there's levels. And there's miracles at all levels, my dear one. There's miracles at all levels. To a miracle to one person is nothing to another. So, some people having sees the 1,000-petal lotus is the most mnemonic thing ever seen, which is true to a certain extent. But then if you go up into the Satnam regions and stuff, anything can be created. Anything, literally. So, where do you want your experiences? It's a smorgasbord. You're the one that chooses. And if you seek someone else to drive your car, you'll never get there or here. So you got to drive your own car. So look to those things. Look to gurus or teachers that set you free, not bind you more. Okay? That's the whole ticket, is your freedom as a traveler throughout the galaxies of the universe. Separate the difference between creation and non-creation, and you'll get it. If you understand those two differences, you've got it. And to get deeper and deeper into the worlds of consciousness is just surrendering more, becoming more. Not thinking more, not planning more, not desiring more. That's creation. That's your activity. Merging more with the all is your little secret of consciousness. And yet, everywhere I go, I try to find the truth answer to what I am supposed to do. I am filled with doubts. I want to have faith, but I can't. You know what? Don't have faith. Quit looking at duality. Because as long as you look at duality, there'll always be half-truths. See what I'm saying? Because creation is 50-50. Kinda. I say it's more base, more feminine, more oval than round. Just my opinion. 50-50 yin and yang would not make for a livable world. You would not be able to live and have an expression at this level that we're expressing ourselves in a 50-50 world. This is a base dominant world, a feminine dominant world, and essential. There's too much aggressiveness and corrosiveness in the male acid principles. I see them all as very savvy businessmen who are no doubt selling good knowledge, but selling nevertheless. If I am divine, then why did I subject myself to this misery? And if there is a God, then why does it hate me? It can't hate itself. You're thinking and experiencing in creation, bro. You got to break that chain, because you're simply got an expression, and you're just looking at it negatively. You know, maybe you don't feel good. Maybe you've just been trained of negative thoughts. Stop all of that. Become the observer. Start observing without thought. Then you can interject consciousness into that, and that is awareness. There is always awareness. Awareness isn't stupid. Awareness houses all stuff in it. Doesn't hate you. You hate yourself. And it's just like, no, that's all just bull crap. You turn all that around. You remember, you're a victim. You are a sum total right now of all your past journeys. So somewhere in your past journeys, you've had some ups and downs. Okay, get rid of them. Work in the present moment. Control the present moment. You want to be happy? Do the things that make you happy. But you got to look to yourself as the one. You don't look to gurus or saints or saviors. They're great spiritual beings, and I'll be the first one to tell you, use Fubi Quants, Shamus Debris, Katadaki, all of them. Rebazar, I mean, all of them. You use them to you. But the trueness of a master, of a true master, is the one that can set you free, not the one that uses them to bind you more. They don't even know they're doing that, guys. All these gurus and things are just trying to be the God people that they are. And its own creation. Isn't it? No. Creation is dualistic, and you got to remember that. Creation has the good and the bad equally, or hopefully not so equally as I've just discussed, but as beautiful as you can imagine, KS, as beautiful as you can imagine, you can also imagine the most hideous. You cannot imagine something that doesn't exist. Remember that. Your mind just can't imagine something that doesn't exist. That's not how creation is. That's the scary part of this. Oh, there are some worlds maybe you don't remember you've been to. There are some extremely scary parts of creation, as there's some extremely beautiful and enlightened parts. Both are just your play tools. You're neither one. Remember that. You come out of the worlds of pure consciousness, unformed, the formless worlds. Who is to decide? Why is suicide such a taboo? It's not. You can do it. The problem with it, it's almost an automatic repeat back. See, the whole idea is you to get your shit together. And if you can't, then it's an automatic return home. Back here. Not home, back here. You don't get to kill yourself and then suddenly I'm in heaven. I did it good. No. Because it's developing itself to be in control. It's developing itself. You're just one little piece of itself. You're one individualized expression, as I and everyone that's listening to this. Each one of us are responsible for strengthening ourselves and expanding ourselves. Because as we do, it does. It isn't expanding itself separate. You are its vehicle. And the only way it can experience creation is through you. Its embodiments. It can't put itself from consciousness into creation. The way it does is through you. That's when you get that, you realize really who you are. And take pride in that. Give due respect who you really are. It has to have some way to experience itself. How do you think God's experience is just sitting there watching? Absolutely. That's you in consciousness. But it also has to develop form to have activity and differences so we can hug and kiss each other. Absolutely. The beauty of individuality, but the totality of consciousness. Because individuality has positive and negative sides to it. And you have to get with that. It doesn't mean you're bad or you're good. If you label yourself, that's you're self-labeling yourself. You could have a hitchhiker, get him out. The more you can pull into the golden light, the hue, the sound current, the prana, the life force, the more it'll surround you and protect you, but the stronger you become. You don't like what's going on? Change it. You don't like an entity around you? Get rid of it. Get your power back, guys. Or you'll be a leaf in the wind. Oh me, I hate myself, I don't hate myself, this is this and this and this. Grab the power back. Next life or in between, if you take your own life, absolutely, and you don't want that. You want to develop to the greatest heights you can now. You get up in some of these heights, it's so beautiful you don't even grow for eons of time because you're too busy enjoying the beauty. I can see that. But if this is life is hell itself, then how much worse does it get? Oh no. Oh, you shouldn't have wrote that. Don't ask that question. No, you don't want to ask that question. No, put that out of your mind. Yeah, no, don't ask that question, man. Nope. You don't want to know how bad it can get. But if this is, sorry, I guess I am hoping you can help me understand what the hell is this all about. It's easy. It doesn't make sense. I am hurting, angry, jealous of those who have a normal life. Then get yourself a normal life, man. We're here to help you. You know, look at the help that has a handout. You have to discern between the help you need and the help you don't need. People that can help you, people that you can't. If someone has something, everybody might have something for you. Just take what you need and move on. You know, you don't have to sit and have supper. Get this God creation thing against you out of your head, man. That's only you playing with yourself. Please tell me the truth. Am I evil soul? Can you tell from this far away? You're not an evil soul. You're trapped in your mind, man. But you've had some experiences you need to let clean out, okay? That's what I'm getting. You've had some experiences. Let it clean out. That's why you pull yourself in the now and you quit desiring and you quit thinking. Let all these past thoughts and desires that's in the mix work themselves through. No matter what you see or what you experience, keep yourself in the point of observation and in the now. That's where you truly will love yourself from the level that you need to. When you're lost in creation, you're banging up against two separate polar opposite forces. And you just have to realize that creation mandatory comes with duality. That evil is as evil and as beautiful as is beautiful. But if you'll pull back, you'll have due respect for God because it has to have it. Don't think it loves its most negative either. But it comes with the package. Can't have one without the other. That's the ironic part of that, but it makes total sense when you understand the difference between the formless worlds and the formed worlds. Worlds where there's matter, energy, space, and time. There's differences, there's separation, and where there's the one again. You get that difference. And you woke up. At least a major wake up compared to those that are trying to wake up 50 to 100 years ago. Give yourself due. There's always growth in everything, including spirituality. Don't be too hard on the gurus and people like that. Everybody's trying to develop and awaken. It's just that if you want to work with the spiritual beings, I always recommend finding the highest ones you can. Yeah, because they'll take you higher. They'll take you. They're just, I don't know. It is what it is. You know, when you find a more experienced teacher, it does make a difference. But still, everyone has something for someone. So, you know, always have your eyes open. If you're always thinking and desiring, or woe me, you don't go anywhere. No, pull your power back, KS, and always me. Love you guys. Time to go take a lunch break. I will see you maybe on the flip-flop this afternoon. But this is Friday. But I love you guys. You're doing so well. I'm so proud of you guys. And our classes are getting more spiritual, more powerful. The energy around that was swimming. It was swimming. Matter of fact, there was a couple of burnouts, wasn't there? The whole class just went, oh, whoa. Too much energy. I love it. Planetary Darshan coming.